Sleeptoken's a lot like Nickelback. It's fun to say they suck, but if you search your heart for the truth, you'll find nothing but love, admiration, and a shocking amount of sexual tension. I found them completely by accident. I started off hating them, and then I grew to accept them, and by the time I saw them at their Red Rocks performance, they were officially one of my favorite bands of all time. Today I'm here to offend, defend, and lovingly showcase this incredible band. My name is Zach. Welcome to Audibly Dumb. Seeing Sleeptoken live at Red Rocks was a lot like watching Jesus giving birth to a younger, healthier, less thorny-looking Jesus. It was biblically charged, sexually pleasing, and one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life happened at this show. But before we get to that, how did my devotion to this overwhelmingly polarizing band come to be? I'm glad you asked. One day I was about to go to the gym. My buddy sent me their song, Atlantic. Hard pass. Snooze fest, ballad, choir singing, falsetto voice. It was less gym vibe and more hymn vibe. That was such a banger joke. While I didn't appreciate that song at first, it did put Sleeptoken on my Spotify radar. And you all know how that works. You hate something, you comment that you hate something, and then the internet's like, bet, here's 19 more of that exact same thing. Well, I carried on with my workout that day listening to Blink 41 and Sum 185. I had 1/4 of a plate on either side of the bar, #jacked. And then Spotify recommended a song called Alkaline. Holy nuts, dude! That song fucked harder than the government, specifically the drums. Naturally, I had to look up the drummer. Homie's name is 2. Like the number 2. Single name, so we've got Adele, Cher, Dahmer. And now the drummer officially known as 2. And a quick Google search said these guys are anonymous, Slipknot 2.0, baby. It was dope, but also kind of annoying, because I want to know who these musicians are. This music is pretty fucking amazing, right? And you can't even know who they are. If you're a real music fan, I understand that you understand how completely painful that is. Well, I liked Alkaline on Spotify, which gave them the green light to basically send me every single other song that Sleeptoken had made up to that point. Miss, another miss. I kind of thought Alkaline was going to be the only song by them that I really enjoyed, kind of like Dancing Queen by ABBA. But then one day, it recommended the song, The Summoning. The next 6 minutes of my life was this emotionally charged, uplifting, genre-bending experience. And that experience turned me from into, there is something more. There is a God. My mom was wrong. Scientology is a lie. This was from their newest album called Take Me Back to Eden. And that album, my friends, is the one that led me to the single greatest concert experience of my life. What a weird band, dude. Bunch of skinny white dudes wearing pajamas dancing on stage like they're being attacked by a bunch of bugs and stuff. The lead singer basically does blackface every single night. Cancel this man! And they have convinced millions of people that they are God. They refer to their concerts as worship and then ask for money from their fans to help fund the whole thing. Fuck, maybe Scientology isn't a lie. Buying these tickets for Red Rocks was like trying to get a PS5 during the COVID years. It was all meet me in the Party City parking lot, I'm driving a beige Corolla, my name's Fredrickson. But like with the PS5, I got bent over harder than Riley Reid. I spent a number on those tickets so large my wife had to get an OnlyFans page to pay for it. Wait till she finds out she has an OnlyFans page. The day finally comes for the show. We show up 3 hours early, and the lines were insane, unlike anything I've ever seen, but we pushed through. Got incredible seats. The weather was perfect. The universe was dripping with vibe, man. Now, I did mention I saw the funniest thing I've ever seen at this show. Here's some closure on that. The person right next to me had Sleeptoken tattooed on her forehead. Not a sticker, not a stick on, not a stick they, not a stick them. That is a real deal Holyfield fucking Sleeptoken tattoo. Dush, right on the dome. I tried to engage with her, but we were on different planes. I was there just to see the show. She was there to worship the show. But that's not the real funny part. The funniest part is when a couple raindrops hit us during the song Rain, and she looked at me like I had just invented fire. In this moment, all of her objectively whack beliefs were completely justified. She was convinced right then and there that this is the way. The answers to the universe were revealed in that moment. The band is Jesus, creator of all pasta. All praise to these pajama-wearing deities and the dog planet from which they hail from. The look of pure confidence and belief is something I will never forget for the rest of my life. And that's mainly because it made me ugly person snort laugh during the middle of one of my favorite Sleeptoken songs. Now that isn't the reason it's the best show I've ever seen. It's certainly a contributing factor, but it's not the sole reason why it was the greatest. The reason it's the greatest is because I do not believe I will ever experience another show in my entire life that has the vibe that this show did. This performance at this venue with this weather and this set list at this point in time, it all just seemed to line up. They literally played the best songs from all 3 of the albums they had made up to that point. They took the best ones and played them in chronological order. So the first song was the first song on the first album, and the last song they played was the last song on their last album. That level of organization and confidence in your audience is just, it's not something you see from a lot of bands ever, let alone today. Plus, before the show, I took a word that rhymes with plugs, and trust me, that light show was more mesmerizing than the fact that we still don't have the Epstein list. If you have an extra $1 million lying around, maybe you can come see them on their most recent tour. They're going to be coming through Denver. That's where I live. If you love plugs, flashy lights, spiritualism, forehead tattoos, and every genre ever created by people, then this is the show for you. If you're in the area, hit me up on Instagram. I'd love to come to the show ahead of time and hang out with you. You know, plugs. My name is Zach. This has been Audibly Dumb, and as always, if I say something's cool, it's 'cause it fucking is.